Greetings! Welcome to my channel. I'm Anaiis, Patreon Sage here on YouTube. This is a intuitive reading for those who are in the Sacred Union Dynamic Ascension journey and those who identify as part of the TwinFlame collective. So, for those of you who are returning, thank you. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. I do have a sort of a primer video that explains how I do my readings. I will include the link in the description box so we can save some time because I tend to go into fairly detailed information. And just to remind you that I am an intuitive reader. I don't use the traditional tarot in the ways that it has been used for centuries. I tend to allow the cards to show up as symbolic energies of current energies, and I translate the information. And I do not read according to astrological signs, and I'm going to do a separate video on why that is the case. So, that being said, I do speak of divine feminine, divine masculine, and that is not gender specific. So you can switch roles. You can hear and listen and see whether the general reading information resonates for you. And if it doesn't, that's perfectly okay. Move on. Find another reader with whom you resonate. There's also information about my background in the description box, so I don't really need to go into that. And with that, I'm going to just begin by taking a deep breath and settling in and feeling my connection to my inner channel of divinity and to Source and to Gaia and to the human collective and our amazing awakening journey that we are on right now, and it is profound. So I also want to just say that the last week, 10 days, have been very, very energetically dynamic. If you're sensitive to energy, you've experienced this in your own way. My own sense of it was that we moved through another major layer of getting caught up in what is not really aligned with who we are, and then having the opportunity to recognize this very quickly and adapt our energies and come into alignment again. So that's been very intense. I have felt it. And so I think that this reading reflects some of what some of us have been through in the collective. The readings are not time fixed. So whenever you see this reading, it will be the right time for you. It's part of the beautiful complexity of what's happening with the awakening journey. It is unique, it is individual, and we're on it, and all that is required of us is our continued participation with honest intention, integrity, and an open heart for ourselves and each other. So, with that being said, let me just connect with those of you for whom this sharing of current energies will hold some value. So if you've looked at my readings before, you know that when the Swan card shows up in a reading, this is about sacred union. This is about the twin flame ascension journey that we're on. So what's interesting is this has come out, and this has come out not with a timeline shift today. This is just about the union. And what is also interesting is we have just 2 cards today for the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies. Now, for the last week, there have been 3 cards for each facade or aspect of the divine masculine and for the divine feminine. And we've shifted to the point now where some of us have integrated so much of who we are that we can now move forward feeling ourselves as fully integrated, awake and aware, and open beings, open to the experience of bringing in more of ourselves, of sharing more of ourselves, of bringing our gifts and skills and wisdom and knowledge out into the collective in an organized expression that resonates. So we have the fish and we have the hummingbird. And these 2 cards, I think we're seeing interchangeable energy between the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and fluidity of moving back and forth within the dynamic. So here we have a very highly energized, very mobile, very sensitive, very fast-moving energy of thought and mind that is able to move so quickly and at such a high metabolism, and able to literally hover in the air while taking care of basic needs. So the hummingbird, if you've ever seen a hummingbird at a feeder, it doesn't land on the feeder. It hovers as it takes in the nectar that's being offered to it. So in a sense, this is not a grounded energy. And that's interesting because it, to me, indicates the dynamic, very fast-moving transitions. Now, here on the other side of the dynamic, and I have no sense of one or the other being the divine masculine or the divine feminine with these cards, which is also very interesting and speaks to a great deal of integration and inner union already having taken place. So if that's you, you're going to recognize it. You're going to realize that this is something that speaks to you about where you are as I'm doing this reading. And I am going to just give a time. I'm doing this reading on September 12th. And we're coming into full moon energy, which for many people is an important energetic dynamic. It's an opportunity, whatever your belief systems are, it's an opportunity to focus your intention and attention in a specific way that has its own traditions. So here we have the fish, we have the hummingbird, and then we have the fish. Now, this is a watery, emotional energy. Fish is about individuated consciousness swimming in the ocean of co-creation and the ocean of consciousness in its vast energy. And this also, for me, represents a reflected connection to things beyond the great ocean of consciousness. And this fish is awake and aware of the environment in which it is swimming. And what I appreciate in these 2 cards is we have an interesting color red energy, which is often associated with the root chakra. And here in the hummingbird, it is migrated up to the throat area, which I do think is a dynamic between the fish and the hummingbird, that there will be information and energy shared that becomes very much a part of a united communications. So for me, this is the sacred union. This is the divine masculine and the divine feminine in union. and they are moving now into their mission work, which will be a reflection of this depth and awareness of consciousness and this ability to move quickly and to communicate effectively. So take that as it resonates for you, and know that this now for me means that emotional, mental, causal, and spiritual energies have integrated in both partners in the union, and they're moving forward in that energy. And for many of you, this will reflect a new partner arriving in your life. A new partner arriving in your fifth dimensional energy field, a new awareness of a new partnership in all of your subtle energy bodies, and quite possibly a manifestation or a co-creation of a physical partnership in your 5D in-body awakened reality. So for many of you, this is going to be really good news, because this is something that you feel and know instinctively will move your life purpose and your mission forward in terms of the awakening process here on the planet, and your 10x ability. You're going to have an opportunity, a new opportunity with a new alignment to move forward with that part of your own soul's journey for both divine feminine and divine masculine. So for me, this represents a kind of an outcome of all the recent timeline shifts and merges that have been going on. Okay, so we may just saying you may be looking at a new partnership, or you may be looking at a realigned dynamic within a current partnership that is going to support your mission and making sure that you have the resources and that you are working together, whether or not you're physically together, but that there's a communication that's happening between the two of you that is very, very much aligned and grounded within itself and able to generate material form. Okay, so there we have that. Now next out, I think we're kind of looking at where you are coming from, where you may have recently been on your journey. And this is again reflective of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Again, cross watchers, just work with this as it resonates with you. So here we have the Queen of Swords, which for me in this reading is representing the divine feminine. And here we have the King of Cups, which for me in this reading is symbolizing or representing the divine masculine. And in between these two, we have death, transformation, and letting go of an old dynamic which both of these parties have outgrown. So for me, the King of Cups is someone who is in touch with their emotions, and they have a full cup to offer. And here's this king, he's floating out on the ocean of consciousness. His cup is full, as you can see in this beautiful card. This is the Dreaming Way deck, which I really do enjoy for some of its aspects. And his cup is full, and he is holding it in a stable, steady position. And here we have the Queen of Swords, and her sword is upright, and she is very much in sync with this sword of honest, truthful, clear communication. And so I think what has happened recently with all the timeline merges was that there was a misalignment of these energies, and the Queen of Swords was not allowing herself to be swayed by emotion, and the King of Cups was hoping that the emotional energy of the feminine would generate an alignment in which he could be comfortable with his own inner dynamics. And I think death has come in as a divine intervention, which is to say, you two have a relationship, and we're going to look at what that relationship is, and you're going to feel each other and recognize each other and spend some time transitioning out of the alignment that you originally came into as part of moving through your highest and most beneficial soul growth. So in this sense, transformation came in to generate the separation between two partners who had some interesting, probably soul group or past life karma to address and heal, and that this is reflecting, this process has been at play and has been initiated. So, going here to a further clarification, here we're looking at Six of Cups, which indicates a soulmate energy. Could be someone from your past in this life, or someone that you were closely connected with on another timeline, which you may or may not remember, depending on where you are in your journey. And here we have the Knight of Pentacles, which is a very grounded earth energy. In the traditional tarot, he's seen as slow and steady. And this energy was also present in the dynamic. And here we have the Nine of Cups. So in this dynamic, what's interesting to me is that the deep emotional energy of the King of Cups was, in a sense, thwarted by his slow-moving energy and being in a place of being focused on earthly dynamics, perhaps career, perhaps work, perhaps business. And so this eclipsed his emotional transparency in the relationship. He was focused on another dynamic within the relationship, and while there was emotion there, it wasn't being expressed clearly enough for the Queen of Swords to recognize it as a resonance that was in alignment with her highest good. And so here we have the Queen of Swords now, in her feelings, is in the state of the Nine of Cups, and she's feeling, even though there's a King of Cups in her energy field, that king is holding on to his cup for whatever reason, and she's feeling not completely fulfilled and satisfied at an emotional level, which is key to her moving forward with co-creative energy. And so this is an interesting dynamic, and then it's clear to see how this could possibly result in a misalignment. Now, what's also here is this energy of the Six of Cups, which is, yes, we recognize each other, yes, we have known each other in the past, and that relationship has been valuable, and you moved on to focus on your amassing perhaps an empire, creating an empire, and I moved on to having come from an empire to desiring emotional fulfillment. So we literally are moving in opposite directions. But we do recognize each other, and we do realize there is deep love there and respect. And we're each working with our own challenges here. And I also feel in this dynamic, the Queen of Swords may have been sensing another truth in this dynamic, which was the Nine of Cups. She's looking at this energy. It's unfulfilled, and this could also be that she recognized that there might have been codependency or some form of addiction to substance that wasn't being acknowledged early on in the relationship. And she could sense it and intuit it, and just recognize that it was there, and willing to be open to that information, but not allowing herself to get pulled into a dynamic where codependency would be an issue. So that, I think, is where the union has come from that has moved it forward into a different dynamic. So let's take another look over here. Yeah, here we have the Two of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. With the Queen of Swords, she is looking for balance in her current situation, in her ascension journey, in her soul evolution, which is the balance of material comfort and deep emotional connection within a loving relationships, and within perhaps good friends, loving relationships with family, and relationships with a divine masculine energy that is really going to resonate with who she is. So she has taken herself into a place of communication and clarity. She's also feeling her emotional body and her needs and her emotional energy, and she's very conscious of needing to be stable and secure in her own material environment. And this is what she is looking for, what she is seeking from herself. All right? So that's really healthy. And then from the King of Cups, for the King of Cups, we have I think that in this journey between these two energies, he recognized that there were going to be issues where there were five cups, but 3 had been spilt, and the 2 cups remaining. This is an imbalance here, and what this King of Cups is seeking was a shift it back into his emotional energy and moving toward the 10 of Cups, which is again a complete sense of being emotionally connected on many levels of relationship. And so this is what he was seeking to come out of what may have been, over the course of who knows how long, an overemphasis on material stability, wealth, empire, and finding out that that wasn't as emotionally satisfying, and that he needed to move in a very different way with his own soul evolution, and has chosen to do that. Okay, so let's clarify a little bit more about this Knight of Pentacles and this King of Cups and the dynamic on the divine masculine side. And first out we have the Knight of Cups here as a clarification for the Knight of Pentacles. So I think this particular masculine energy was very focused on Pentacles and was at cross purposes at some point in his evolution with emotional fulfillment, or did not know. He's looking around, how do I fill my cup? So these two energies have probably been at cross purposes for a significant amount of time. And that's led to a lot of confusion in relationship with the Divine Feminine, which also then became the Five of Cups. And, you know, the feeling of I'm missing out on emotional fulfillment, and I don't know which direction to move in to bring that into my life. So I think that's pretty interesting. And then we have out here, so we have the Knight of Cups. That's not this. And then we have the Ace of Wands, which is beautiful. This is a new opportunity to perhaps change this situation and have these two energies meet and combine and move together. And there was an opportunity for that to happen. However, the King of Cups, I think because of this energy and a little bit of fear indicated in here, took this opportunity and moved toward a different feminine energy that resonated with his familiarity with material comfort. And this would be a woman who was independent and doing her own thing, and an opportunity to be with someone who is very interested in passion and expressing that passion in a way that might bring this Knight of Pentacles to experience his version of emotional fulfillment. So I think that that's a clarification of part of the what resulted in a misalignment between the King of Cups and the Queen of Swords. Now over here, for the Queen of Swords with her Two of Cups and her Ten of Pentacles, the clarification that came out was first the Six of Chalices, so that she was open to equal giving and receiving and sharing her pentacle energy, but not willing to give it all away. She's going to be willing to share an equal give and take and hold this energy in balance. Then next out we had the Empress, and this is the Queen of Swords moving into an energy that is, I'm really being clear here, and I'm going to reach into myself and my soul evolution, and I'm going to bring my physical embodiment into a place where I am able to interact with all of the elements available to me to bring about the satisfaction that I want. So here she's looking at what will bring me closer to this energy of being in balance with the Two of Cups, the emotional fulfillment, and stability with earthly material matters. So she has reached inward in her inner union to find both her High Priestess and her Empress energy, so that she's able to move forward aware, awake, and in alignment with the best choices for expressing herself in a sacred union and bringing the best of who she is to a sacred union. Okay. So that's an interesting clarification there. Now, as we come back here to look at the Nine of Cups energy on the what is essentially resonating as the divine feminine, we have justice. And this is my feeling, that the divine feminine knew that with this past life relationship, while it felt so wonderful to connect with it and to do some healing with it, she also needed to allow herself to take this energy of the Nine of Cups and open it up to the divine intervention as a justice, as a really beautiful balancing energy coming into her own life. And this was her response to the King of the Knight of Pentacles and the King of Cups moving away from her, right? Because that's what's happened here. He's looking back, he's moved away from the divine feminine, and he's got the 10th cup here, but he's not giving it to her. And so he's moved away to another feminine energy. And in accepting this and recognizing it, this Queen of Swords recognizes that that is divine justice for her, and so she's not struggling against the outcome. She's not struggling against it, which is why I think we don't see a Three of Swords, a broken heart energy here. Okay, so where is this energy going? We have death, we have the transformation of a past soul connection. So that's what we have. And we have a message, a communication in this realignment. There's powerful wands energy here, bringing a realignment. So let's see if we can see what the message is that has been involved in this situation. Okay, so first out we have the King of Chalices. So once again, this is the divine intervention, is that there is an inner union, perhaps an outer union, with a King of Chalices who is a more matched resonance to this Queen of Swords, and divine intervention is bringing this energy forward, which I think has to do with the change in partnerships here. So that's one part of the message. It's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Stay aligned with your own soul evolution and your inner union, and this new opportunity with a King of Chalices, a divine masculine energy, ready to offer his cup of love, and on his path and in alignment with his own inner union, this will show up as part of the transformation. And then next we have the Ace of Pentacles, which is a kind of a confirmation that both parties in this situation have come into an opportunity to move forward in a very beautiful new situation that will support abundance and material sustenance for both of them. That this is not a missed opportunity, it's an expanded opportunity that shares the Ace of Pentacles energy with both of them. The Knight of Cups, who is moving on, and the Queen of Wands, who is ready to experience what she feels as emotional justice, and probably justice in terms of her ability to be self-sustaining in her own right through her own inner union. And then lastly we have out the Star. So this is a beautiful confirmation of the transformation here with number 13, the Death card, and then coming into the beautiful healing, the healing energies to move forward from this deeply loving and acknowledged connection without bringing on destruction of either party. So that's lovely. Okay. Now, for additional clarification, for this Queen of Swords, who's... I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for justice to show up in my situation so that I can be in this beautiful energy of emotional and material contentment and balance. So she is here, and what comes in next is the King of Pentacles. And this is part, again, of looking at her inner union within herself. She has now brought forward for herself in her masculine inner union a King of Pentacles and a King of Chalices. So this is what her choice, the energy of her alignment, is moving her into this alignment within herself. And this is going to be emotionally satisfying for her. And yes, here we have the King of Pentacles is again validating that this Queen of Pentacles is going to be able to move forward in a new direction, maybe in an entirely new direction for herself. And she's got the inner masculine resources supporting her in her soul evolution and her inner union. And so she can feel secure in being in the alignment she has chosen for herself. Okay, so that is really what's coming out to clarify this energy of the Nine of Cups and Justice. So that is a new alignment that's coming in, and it looks pretty strong for Divine Feminine. And let's see what we have. We have anything interesting over here? Okay, so now that this has happened for the Divine Feminine, and we're looking at having Justice come in her inner union and shift her soul evolution to a different partner, inner and outer resources of masculine energy, which I do feel has to do with the energy of Pisces and the fish, with the full moon in Pisces. This is very interesting. So we have a new energy coming in with a full moon in this, I would say, the beginning of something in this month of September. Now we're going to look at, with this balancing here with the Queen of Swords, and she is recognizing herself as the High Priestess and as the Empress. And if you look here, she has her Queen of Swords energy, her inner King of Chalices, and her inner King of Pentacles. So she's pretty balanced right now, and she is really manifesting her Empress energy to come in and keep her in alignment with her soul journey. So then I ask, well, how does this new energy, this new partner feel, or how is this energy expressing? This fish is expressing in its own alignment. And what we have strength, we have the Queen of Chalices, we have the Queen of Pentacles, and we have the Ace of Swords. So this new energy of partnership coming in is very dynamic. It's a strong energy, and in this energy's own inner union, it is resonating with the Queen of Chalices and the Queen of Pentacles. So here we have a union and a union that's lining up with the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine. That seems to be a better resonance for this Queen of Swords. This is opening up as an inner union for both her energy and for the new King of Cups that's coming in. And then we also have the Ace of Swords. So this is an energy that aligns with this Queen's intention to be in truth, transparency, and trust, and also clarity of thought and understanding the power of thought when it is aligned with love and a sense of connection to earthly abundance. So this is terrific. This is really interesting. Okay. So we have that over here in this new situation. Let me put these guys back into their alignment there. And we have this energy coming out here. Whoops. And I also feel this is in some way reflecting how this new masculine energy is going to, let me fix this. One of these days I'll have a better setup, but I don't know when. This new masculine energy is vibrating and resonating with a really beautiful balance of feminine energy, sensitive and aware, and able to bring that into communication, strong and attracted to this balance of energies in the union. Okay, so let's see what else comes out here. For the Divine Feminine, we have out with this new partnership the Ace of Chalices, the Ace of Wands, and the World. So this is a pretty powerful union here. So we have the Ace of Chalices, a new beginning in love, the Ace of Wands, which includes passion and sacred sexuality, and coming in to create a world really full of possibility and actualization with this fast-moving energy. And here we have this coming together with this deeply aware, conscious, swimming in the ocean of consciousness, new partner that is in balance with what looks like a pretty dynamic union in terms of mission and co-creation. Wow, a lot of work. A lot of work's been going on here. A lot of work. And we also have the Ace of Pentacles out for this union. So we have Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Chalices, Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands, Ace of Chalices, and Ace of Pentacles. We have all the aces in this union. So the feeling is that these new partners had the wisdom to keep going on their sacred union journey, to keep moving forward on their soul path and their journey, to come into this co-resonance with each other in whatever way that's going to unfold. Oh boy. Okay, now for this additional transition into this union here, moving forward, we have the transition here for this union. This is really beautiful. We have the Two of Chalices, which is a resonant match to the Queen of Swords energy here of this kind of loving exchange. So we have this resonance coming from the new King of Pentacles. We have the Magician, which I feel is a resonance to the High Priestess on the Divine Feminine side, coming into this new union. We have the Queen of Wands. So we have pretty much the energies that will move into this Empress energy. We don't have the Emperor out, but that's okay. This is very dynamic. So we have the Queen of Wands resonating with the Ace of Wands on the Divine Feminine's side. Very, very, very interesting here. And here we have the Lovers. So here we have, if we want to take these two Two of Cups cards, and then we bring in the balancing energy of the sacred union, we come into the Lovers. So this feels like a really very interesting shift in energy. And this is coming with the new moon energy and is coming with all these recent merges of timelines that have, I think, in a sense, reshuffled this deck for Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine. So that is really beautiful, because we're moving into a real beautiful manifestation of Ten of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, the Lovers in balance, bringing to each other abundance and emotional fulfillment. This is gorgeous. So we do have quite a bit of energy here. Very creative. Very, very dynamic. New union energy here. This is a really beautiful shift coming with that last timeline merge of a couple of days ago. Okay, so additional clarification if we need it. Yeah, we have in this new energy, we have the Nine of Chalices, which is the beginning of this energy coming together, and the Two of Wands beginning the initial building towards the manifestation, the co-creation of the coming together and understanding the opportunity within the dynamic and just getting going on it. So this feels to me like a kind of a response from justice. It's like, yep, you're not going to have to lose any more emotional energy to come into your union, and the two of you will be able to build together. So this is a building energy. The choices have been made. Two of Wands. Growing something. Each one having their own passionate wand of energy to work with. And we see that because we have the Ace of Wands and the Queen of Wands out here in this reading. Okay, so we have that going on. Okay, so we have the... This is interesting. This is really interesting. Oh my goodness. For the final outcome, we have here's the Emperor. Okay, so we have the King of Wands here now, which is great because then we have another dynamic. We have another dynamic merge of masculine and feminine energy here, because now we have the King and Queen of Wands. So moving out of this energy, a lower vibrational energy, we're moving into this now. Yo. And we also have out for the, again we have the Strength, again, no, we have the Emperor out now to match up with the Empress energy on the Divine Feminine side. So this is again really dynamic. We have the Lovers twice. So this is both partners, both counterparts, feeling completely aligned and comfortable with this union. There's no fear here at all. There's no fear. Really interesting. Which is, you know, that's an incredible transformation and a release of this, we could say, perhaps restrictive Six of Cups that wasn't going to move to a Ten of Cups for both parties. Wow. All right. So we have this energy and we have the Emperor in union with the Empress. All right. We have a new beginning here with this union of the Fool, and we're going from this energy on the Divine Feminine side of the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Chalices, the World, and we have the Fool out on the Divine Masculine side, willing to make the transition and go on this journey, on this new dynamic. Wow, I don't know what else to say. This is pretty amazing. This is what union, though, is meant to look like, and how it's meant to open us up and move us forward and take us through these very challenging transitions where we might be doubting the process and doubting ourselves and doubting that we're ever going to see anything that matches what we're feeling inside. Okay, so then we just have another really beautiful confirming run of energy. Now we do have a new Ten of Cups out for this partnership. So we go from the 9 to the 10 over here for Divine Feminine. Here we have the Magician, or the conscious co-creator, as I like to call him. And this is a very, very beautiful energy that is able to work with all of the elements. And I feel that this is a reflection of both the divine masculine and the divine feminine becoming aware of how much they can co-create together. And they've had this come in. So we go from the 21, the last card, to the first card, to the 1. That's very, 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 very interesting. So divine masculines and divine feminines who are aware of the timeline shifts that you've been through. Lots of them have happened since the Lion's Gate. And for those of you who have felt the intensity of the last 2 days, energy, the changing energies and the ways in which we've been challenged and encouraged to move in a new direction, to really move in a new direction, something we may never have thought of doing or done before, and to be open to the union going on now and leading us in a way that we can feel pretty trusting of. There's a lot of incredible, clear, positive, dynamic, like flag after flag, like woohoo, woohoo, woo. You can trust it, you can trust it, you can trust what's coming, you can trust it, go for it. Wow. So we have these energies here. This is an overflowing of abundance. This is this transition, this transformation from the wheel of being revolving again and again in situations that were coming out of the pain body and casting the pain body, which I consider the wheel of karma, is just a fancy way of describing the pain body that human beings have lived in for eons and eons. And that's if you want to take into account the dynamic of quote, reincarnation. Or many, many timelines living with so much pain and so much restriction and limitation on being who we really are as divine beings. So, yikes, yeah. So this is getting cast to the side. Yeah. Where am I gonna put this? This is getting cast. Just think of this as your pain body that's been cast to the side as an outcome of this transformation. We have the Star card again. So both the divine feminine and the divine masculine in this new arrangement and alignment both have access to this beautiful divine healing energy. They know how to use it on themselves. They know how to use it with other people. This may be a reflection of both the divine feminine and the divine masculine functioning as healers at whatever level. And here we have the Queen of Chalices for the divine feminine. So this is a match to the King of Chalices. Yeah, so this is another inner union, which is part of the Empress and Emperor energy, and it's happening for both partners, not just one. And we have Temperance, which is, I think, reflective of the incredible patience that has developed this partnership, that has developed these two souls to come into this alignment with each other. It's taken a lot of patience, and there have probably been many, many challenges along the way, but the inner alignment and commitment to being one's true and authentic and best self, and being able to bring that forward in a way that lets you use all of your skills and talents. So I know that these readings of mine are a little bit challenging, but they are high vibrational readings. So they're not going to be for everybody. They're going to be for people who are in a mature, very awakened place in this journey of sacred union and twin flame. And this is to show you and to help you feel and resonate with, this is what is coming, and this is what is possible. And now not only possible, but probable. Just keep on focusing on yourself, on your inner union, on your beautiful sacred union with Source, and allow your divine blueprint to lead you into places, opportunities, people, things that are going to move you forward in your union. This is very reflective of two awakened beings, divine masculine and divine feminine, who are ready to express their gifts, their knowledge, their wisdom, and share it with the collective with balance and continuing patience for moving into the higher vibration reality that those of us who are choosing to do it is what we're going to experience. So you may be feeling that there's some additional, quote, testing of your mettle last couple of days and into through the full moon energy, the testing. And I would say it's a very good time for deep reflection, getting clear about who you are, what you desire to surround yourself with as the foundation for your 5D life, and how you can commit to being active in balanced giving and receiving in whatever circumstances you may find yourself, in alignment with your divine blueprint, which is absolutely what is the magnetizing and electric energy in your sacred union. So I would say this is a very, very dynamic and positive reading. I don't think that I myself am not aligned with anything that we could call the event. I'm not aligned with that at all. I don't subscribe to that school of, this is what it's going to look like. We don't know what the shifts are going to look like that Source has in mind for us. We have to be patient and we need to trust. I use some guidance cards, and I use the I'm very bad with my deck names, but this is the Colette Baron Reed Animal deck. And here we have from Source, we have Watch and Wait, which is again about the temperance energy and trusting the journey. I do feel that's a beautiful reflection of just trusting what's going on and really remembering how to trust yourself. And in this, I'm sure all of us have just poked through the veil of mistrust of self and doubt of self and doubt of spirit and doubt of Source, and we've poked through that veil now, and we've got to process and integrate that. For the divine feminine, we have co-create with spirit. And I do feel that this is a kind of an alignment and validation with this hummingbird energy. And then for divine masculine, we have the whale spirit, which is really being deeply aware and awake, and moving into and out of the depths, and being able to breach from the depths of the ocean of consciousness, and to experience a deeply connected, profoundly loving community. Whales are incredibly bonded. They move in groups, although they sometimes will travel alone, but they know how to connect in groups and nurture and support each other. So this is the divine masculine energy moving into this. So that's wonderful. And then we had one for the union. Aha, and the one for the union is the koi fish spirit. There's always enough. So I think that that is the message of this union. And I would say that there's always enough in the sacred union journey. There's always enough patience. When you think you're going to run out, you find some more. There's always enough trust. When you feel that you just reach the end of your rope, you'll get a validation and a confirmation. And so there's always enough trust. And there's always enough beautiful emotional energy with which to co-create with Spirit and to trust the great mystery, which is the beautiful message on the whale card. It's an 11. The koi fish spirit is a 9. And we have 2 8s out as well with crow spirit. A 1 and a 7 is an 8. And a 5 and a 3 is also an 8. So we're vibing pretty high here. We're vibing pretty high. Okay, so that's your reading for today from me, Anaiis Salles, Patreon Sage. And this is an in-depth reading, and I'm going to make a video about the transcendence of astrology and the archetypes that are presented in astrology in terms of astrological signs, and how in this new ascension journey and transition we are transmuting the need to continue to identify with those archetypes as we discover that we have all of those aspects in every part of us, and we can move them around as we choose when we awaken.